a warm welcome to my mate Ali Ross. Hi, Ali.
Hello, Kev. How you doing?
I'm
Very
all right.
happy man.
I'm all right, mate. My thoughts are with Emily Maitlis, Tom Bradby, the entire Sky News team, and Krishnan Guru-Murthy at this difficult time. How much did you enjoy last night's coverage?
Well, I got up at 5. I went to bed. I bought into all the party line, which was that, well, we think she's going to nick it, and which was wishful thinking from every television channel's point of view. And I got up at 5, and I didn't even need to see any captions or hear what they were saying. You could just tell by the ashen expressions that Trump was on his way to win. It was like gate crashing a wake.
So funny. Listen, Ali,
it really was funny, because just the frustration on every channel as well.
Yeah. Well, bear with us. We've done a little compilation of some of the highlights of the TV coverage. So take a look at this.
Rory, I'm trying so hard to contain what I'm actually thinking and feeling inside and project a sense of, balance and etc.
I got it totally wrong. I thought Kamala Harris would win, and I believe she would win comfortably. He was fundamentally wrong because I'm patronising towards people. I never felt that. I never felt that as a politician in Britain. I think I was wrong because I'm an optimist. And I hate the idea of being right pessimistically. I think you can be a false prophet and right. You can align yourself with the worst instincts of humanity. You can assume that everything's going to hell in a handbasket, or you can hope.
In miniature in Florida, and that kind of extreme, sort of extremist, right-wing, fascist-type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place? Voters available, and they are deeply suppressed in terms of their ability and access to the ballot.
To all of those states that we have not mentioned. It's not our fault, it's the founding fathers.
Do mass deportation and a violent start to his dictatorship on day one, and you name it.
Maybe I'm not, and I didn't look aside, and I thought his campaign is chaotic in the final days, and hers is sort of on message, and she hasn't made any mistakes. And I actually failed to trust my instinct of and I don't know why. I failed to trust my instinct of 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah. Do you know what?
This is an untenable reality in national security terms. Now that we know what we know about...
And I'll tell Emily off later, but because I know she started the swearing, but it may be the middle of the night in Britain, but they're still a little bit sensitive about that stuff.
Yeah, so Ali, Emily Maitlis started swearing and got basically stormed off Channel 4, wasn't allowed to come back.
The weird thing about that coverage is that at 6:15, having told us it's the most important election of a generation, they just took it off air. This is the moment when Trump's about to win, and suddenly Channel 4 don't want to know. They're stuck on a countdown repeat instead.
You're kidding.
Which I struggle to believe would have happened if Kamala Harris had been in the same situation.
Oh, no, absolutely right. Actually, they should have done that with Kamala, when the votes were coming in, you're out, get out, you finish it, you lose. What about some of the other, we saw some American channels there, CNN and MSNBC. they were furious. When CNN went to Georgia, which was the key moment of the night, whichever way that went, it was known. So the anchor, I think his name's the kind of Art Becker or something like that. The anchor goes to the reporter, goes, "Hey, Joe, so is it good news?" And he goes, "Well, Art, actually, it's a massive swing to Donald Trump." You see the presenter's face go, it just didn't work out for them, did it?
There's a brilliant moment on Good Morning Britain. It's about 6:20, and they go over to the guy Noel Phillips. He's standing in front of row after row of empty chairs where the celebration party's meant to be. And he actually says, "There's nobody here, but there is still hope." No, it's time to go home.
Give it up. Give it up. You probably followed some of the other TV moments. We played some of them earlier. Perhaps we'll play a couple in a minute. But did you see the moment, that brilliant moment with Brett Meyer on Fox News, when she said, "Yeah, I'm the candidate of change," and he goes, "Well, if you're the candidate of change, how come you've been in power for nearly 4 years?" And she didn't really have an answer, and she said, "No. You know, if it's not your fault, if America needs to change, it must be your fault. If it's not your fault, whose fault is it?" And she goes, "Donald Trump has been in our position." Yeah, but it's not his fault. But according to her, it was. I mean, you know, television defines, well, I think all elections, but certainly in America. And in terms of television, she was somewhat found wanting as a performer, wasn't she?
It goes across the oceans and across networks. It's just people who cannot conceive, and you saw Rory Stewart doing there, that people think another way to them. And if they could press a button and eradicate all those people, they most certainly would. And half the fun of actually voting for someone like Donald Trump, I think, is just to annoy those people. And in doing so, I think you're doing a valuable public service, because they are Alistair Campbell, Rory Stewart, Emily Maitlis, and all those fellow travellers, John Sopel, they are the people on earth who most deserve to be annoyed.
Yeah.
Their arrogance, their self-righteousness, their agenda itself, which is so discredited and out of date. It's socialism from the 1970s, roughly, that should be wiped off the face of the earth. And they think that about people who disagree with them. It's extraordinary, the arrogance of it.
Yeah, and if you know, perhaps a little bit like you, quite a lot like me, a bit like Pete Barnes, if you happen, shall we say, to be arguably right of centre, they just think we're thick. They think we're thick because we're not left-wing.
Oh, absolutely, and they bandy around.
In my case, by the way, they might be right, but not you two. But...
Well, you know, I'm probably in the same boat. They bandy around the word fascist, but it's ceased to have any meaning now. It's like being called racist or sexist. It's as certain as death and taxes. It will happen to you. And so when they say it with a big fanfare and a flourish, people just think, whatever. I've heard that before. It means nothing.
Yeah,
but they all do it.
Yeah, and I did this show, What Just Happened, and Simon London is our sort of resident lefty, and we've been fighting now for 6 months about this, and I keep screaming at him in my time-honoured fashion. Look, mate, all you're trying to do is turn your lefty Guardian reading desires into fact. And you're quite right, Ali. It's basically, he's been saying, no one can vote for Trump. He's awful. Surely they're going to vote for the sort of wokey, lefty person, the kind of person that I like. They can't see outside their own sort of comfortable North London bubbles, can they?
Well, they'll accuse him of being anti-science and at the same breath tell you there are 24 genders. They are blind to their own ridiculousness.
You're so right. You're so right. Talk a little bit. I mean, are you going to lead on this on Friday, or on your?
Yeah. You bet. I think I'd be. I really would be missing a trick if I didn't. I hadn't intended to, because I bought the propaganda put around by all these idiots. More fool me that Kamala Harris would probably just win. I should have known better. I've seen this scenario play out so many times, of wishful thinking getting in the way of what's actually happening.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said all along that I thought Trump would win. I kind of felt that he'd win. Because, you know, Ali, I don't know if I've told, I used to live in America. I used to live in Los Angeles. Did you know that?
Really, Kevin? You should talk about maybe write a book or something.
Yeah, maybe I should. No, I always felt he was going to win. And I actually have told friends, and we had it confirmed earlier by Greg Swenson of the Republican Overseas Organisation, who told me he thought it was going to be very close. And I've told him for months, I said, I've got a feeling it might be a landslide for Trump. And he goes, no. Well, you know, before I boast too much about how right I was, in the last week or so, like yourself, I've been watching the TV, looking at the polls, and I've been hedging my bets. I said, well, you know, I do actually now think it's going to be very, very close. I should have stuck to my confident prediction, because it's extraordinary the way the television and the radio networks and the newspapers have projected this picture that it's neck and neck. And about 3-4 weeks ago, they were going, Kamala's going to win. Yeah, Kamala, she's got this in the bag. You know, she can't possibly lose because she's woke and wonderful. Then the polls began to reveal, actually, that Trump was surging ahead. Now, when he was comfortably ahead, what was the media's version of that? It's neck and neck.
Yeah.
So they were actually delivering us and the polls a wrong impression that I kind of fell for. But he didn't just win this; he absolutely stormed it.
He romped it, yeah. I go back to the assassination attempt, and I remember I watched TV throughout the day then, and it was the same ashen-faced look on the faces of the BBC in the wake of that, when I think they knew he was going to win.
Yeah.
That we got at about 5 in the morning today.
Yeah.
It was born of no concern for a man who'd just been shot at. I think they sensed their own political dreams dying. Whether they completely forgot about that in the intervening couple of months, I don't know. But they've got what they deserved.
Yeah. Talk a little bit, if you will, Ali. I mean, you know, you've followed many elections through the prism of television coverage. I mean, television is crucial to every election in the Western world, particularly in America and indeed in Britain now. I was just saying to Pete Barnes here that Donald Trump is a master of utilising the power of television. He understands it, he's been on it a lot, he frames his pictures, and his mastery of television compares very starkly with the Democrats' lack of understanding of it. You know, he understands the media, they don't.
Yeah, all the great images from the campaign are Trump. He understands that. The classic one being him delivering, working for McDonald's for a day.
Yeah. Would you like lies with that? That's great.
Yeah. That was just brilliant.
And of course,
the great politicians, all the ones who probably really believe in themselves, like Margaret Thatcher. She understood the power of an image.
Yeah. Anyway, common sense has prevailed, Ali. Thanks for coming on. Really look forward to your column on Friday. Give 'em hell, eh? Give 'em hell.